So in this practice drawing, what I'm going to teach you is how to make the legs look like they're coming out towards you. So we've got this flat sheet of paper, and what we're going to practice is we're going to draw this pig together, and we're going to learn how to make the legs look like they're coming out at you. And the simplest point or idea on that is that big things look like they're coming out to you. So I drew sort of this 1960s singer, and here she is, and it looks like her hands coming out towards you. And it's a simple illusion, and it's because I've made the hand so big compared to her body that our mind has to figure out what that means. Either this woman has a giant hand or it's coming towards us, because things get bigger as they come towards us. We know that when we go out into the parking lot. If there's a small car, we see it as a small car off in the distance. As it gets bigger and bigger, we have a choice in our mind. We can think it's either growing larger, or our mind will think it's coming closer. So that's real life experience. Things get bigger as they come closer. Our mind doesn't have to really think about it. As that car gets bigger, we know it's getting closer. So that's what artists are using. What they're doing is oftentimes is they're making things get bigger and at a pretty consistent rate. So there's this thing called linear perspective. And what it is you can draw a single point and you can draw objects. And when you connect them, these lines that go back to that point keep getting smaller, smaller, smaller. And it creates this illusion that it's moving in space. So that's why when you see a drawing like this, it looks like these boxes are sort of zooming into space. That's basically what we're going to exploit. What we're going to do is draw a pig, and I'm going to have you draw the feet really big. And we're going to draw a dot, and the legs are basically going to zoom out from that dot. And it's curved in front. It'll be curved in the back. And so what that will show you is that by drawing a large shape and then connecting it to a dot, which means it's getting smaller and smaller at kind of a graph, at a calculated rate, it'll create that illusion. And it'll work on whatever pig you draw. So now that we've talked about it, let's take a moment and actually draw it. So what I'm going to do is set these samples aside, and I've got my big project. I've got my beautifully finished toy drawing of a snowman. I've got my toy drawing of a caterpillar. I've done the warm-up, taking a how to draw handout and turned it into a toy. And so now in the last quadrant on my page, I'm going to do this pig. And I'm excited for you to draw with me. All right, guys, so here we are. We're in the bottom corner. We're going to draw some sort of pig in that image. So just to make it a little less visually noisy, I'm going to fold my paper, so that's all you have to look at. And here we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from the background to the foreground. And what that means to me is we are going to start by drawing kind of our pig's body. We're going to start here, and then we're going to overlap the feet. And that'll create our three-dimensional element. All right, so I want to leave room for the feet. So I'm going to sort of sketch a circle for the head, not too big. Boy, we sure use this pencil stroke a lot. I'm going to draw a circle for the body. So pretty simple, a circle for the head, and then actually an oval for the body. And just like that how to draw, I'm going to now kind of give it some more interesting shapes. So I've got my circle. I'm going to draw two more circles to create cheeks. Here's my circle. And I want my pig to look nice and chubby. So I'm going to draw some nice large cheeks. And maybe right in the middle, a little oval for a pig nose. Same thing here. I've got the body. Here's the chest. Maybe I'll draw a bigger circle for a tummy. There we go. So just for fun, and before we really focus on the feet, let's finish up the pig just a bit so we can focus on those feet. So I'm going to go ahead and now, using these lightly sketched lines as a guideline, I'm going to start drawing a head that pushes out to some cheeks. That goes up over the body, and maybe a little bit of a chin. You know, and I can keep refining that shape and form. And then pushing into this, I'm going to draw a nice long mouth. And I'm going to draw some dimples, kind of shade them in so it looks like his smile's pushing into that great little cheek. There we go. Now I'm going to draw my pig nose. I like to square it off just a little bit. Put two big ovals. And then I'm going to have the cheeks kind of rest into the nose. And then close to the nose, I'll put two little eyes. And then I can lightly sketch two big ears. See how I just sketched these light leaf-like shapes? And they don't have to be exactly the same because, you know, he can twitch his ears. And then I'm going to make them darker, kind of find the shape I like. This one seems to need to be a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to thicken up one side. And then watch this. I'm going to sort of just do some lines to make it look like it's tucked in there. So that's kind of fun. So that's got us to our starting our pig. I think now is a good time to start with the feet. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw two really large ovals, bigger than you probably imagine, almost as big as the whole body. Maybe we'll try to do that. And then we're going to connect it to a dot, and that'll create the legs. So here I am. Here's about the size of the body. So I'm going to do a similar height oval. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to leave his butt right up here. So I'm going to down here, but By making it big, it looks like it's pushing forward into space. Again, big things look closer. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it look like his feet are coming closer. And then I'm going to draw a little dot. I know that's very tiny. Right there. Can you see that? And I'm basically going to connect it to the top and the bottom of the feet. Now, I think I'm ready now to clean this up and start using my light sketchy lines that I've created to really move my drawing forward. So the first step is I'm going to commit to the shape of my feet. And pigs, their feet are kind of got little hooves. So I'm going to add that detail to mine. So I'm putting in just a little seam. Remember, I'm slightly curving it. It looks soft. And I'm going to dip in to make it a V, and then just draw. Dip in. When I say dip in, see that V shape I've created? And I'll do the same on the other side. I'm going to dip in and commit to the shape. Dip in. So now I've got my bottom of my feet pushing forward me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line, but not all the way. I'm going to end it maybe about here, because the legs end. And let me show you what I mean in a sample. I drew the dot, but the legs, even though they line up, I didn't draw them all the way meeting. So I'm going to use that line, and I'm going to adjust this one, fix it. Now watch this. See how my piggy's leg is curved here? If it's curved here, I want it to have the same curve here. So curve, curve. Same thing on this side. So I'm going to draw it straight, and I'm going to end it. And I've got this curve here, so I'm going to make it even a stronger curve. If this is a big curve, this is a small curve. And now I can draw the butt sitting on the ground. And maybe a few creases to create the tummy. Cute, right? And then, using what we know, let's make the arms two cones. And when I say a cone, I'm going to draw that ellipse, and then just let the arms tuck in up by the shoulders. So I'm going to draw an ellipse and an ellipse. And I'm just going to tuck the arms up here. And what I've created is this illusion that these legs are coming, pushing out towards me. And it's because, again, our brain works so quickly. Our brain has to determine whether this feet are the size of the body or whether it's pushing out. And what it's going to default to is its experience that, oh, it must be that the feet are traveling out and getting bigger and bigger. And so take an eraser, you can clean up all your different spots. And then this project is so fun to finish. What I'd love for you to do is put your little piggy on the floor and give it a character, whether you want to make it patches, whether you want to put a pattern on it. You can give it a real overall character. You're going to start enjoying this class more when you start infusing your creativity. We're getting to the point where now you don't have to just follow directions, but that you can create things. You can create things that make you laugh. You can create things you think are cute. And so I really encourage you that. Now, before I set you free, I'm going to add one last use of this little dot. I'm going to go to this dot and I'm going to draw a line that comes from the dot out. I'm not going to put it on the pig, but I'm going to put my pencil here and draw like a starburst. Again, I'm going to this dot and I'm drawing just out like a starburst. And what that does is that's a quick lesson. It creates the illusion of a floor. And you can see it in this one, where it looks like the floors. And that's the fun of this. Now take a moment, add your character, start putting in your form shadows, your cast shadows. Start really making it cute. And really start investing in your creativity. When you're asked to create something, what do you come up with? Go beyond following directions and start becoming a creative force yourself. All right, guys. And when you complete that, you're going to have a packet that is looking like this. Toy snowman, caterpillar, how to draw, and toy pig. All right, guys. Good job. I'm excited to see what you create.